video game movies are alright. Sometimes they're pretty dope. Other times they kind of suck. I went into this new Mortal Kombat film with average expectations. Sure, it looked kind of sick. The trailers showed some really cool characters, and it seemed like it was actually going to be potentially a good adaptation of this video game franchise and possibly be a good video game film. I mean, in the last couple of years, we're starting to get movies that actually do respectful service to IPs that they're adapting to the big screen. Yeah, Mortal Kombat came out on HBO Max a few days ago at the time of recording. I'm not wasting any more time, guys. Here we go. Ryan Ramakrishnan here. Real quick, thanks for coming along to the channel. If you like Mortal Kombat and you like video games and movies and you like when they come together, you're in the right place because we have conversations like that on this channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you feel like you want to see some more videos like this. All right, so Mortal Kombat 2021. I got to fanboy a little bit here and be nerdy about it, but man, that movie is sick. It's really cool. Like that rated R violence is dope as hell. I loved it. I really enjoyed watching Sub-Zero freeze people and then tear them apart and watching bodies get slashed and ripped apart. A lot of sick things happening. It's Mortal Kombat. The video games are known for being uber violent. Mortal Kombat 11 it's almost laughable just how crazy and gory it gets. And I'm glad that Warner Brothers was able to give us a film that sort of follows that. I mean, okay, it's not as violent as the games because I'm sure it's just, I don't think that would sit too well in theaters, but man, it does a good job. The action is really fun in this movie. I really enjoyed all the fight scenes. Sub-Zero really shines in the action, as does Scorpion. I think that seeing characters like Liu Kang and his signature style of fighting and the fire, same with Kung Lao and his hat, things like that, like seeing all those characters in action and just like remembering what it was like to play as them, you know, over the last few years in the games is just so cool. I really appreciate that they gave us several characters in this film. I do feel like it's weird that we didn't get a lot of the fan favorites and the very well-known characters. However, it's almost inevitable that a sequel is at the very least sort of in pre-production or being thought of and talked about, I'm sure. This film does not actually do the tournament, which I was surprised about, but at the same time, it feels like it's a prequel, a predecessor to what would be the tournament, an inevitable second film, which would be sick. I think the trailers show some things that are pretty cool. I mean, Jax, you know, with his arms, we see that in this film. We see there's definitely some story about Scorpion and, you know, his clan and stuff like that. Kano, best characters in this film. Very funny, entertaining character. Always just the best part when he's on screen. I loved the portrayal and just how everything played out with that character. Cole is obviously like the new character, which I'm still not sure how I feel about him. At the very beginning, it feels weird. He's just like this MMA fighter and he's a big deal, but he's being summoned to the Mortal Kombat tournament and he's a normal guy. Like literally he knows how to fight, but okay, that's Earthrealm, I suppose. I was a little conflicted about Cole and the narrative with him because he's just this random dude that they decided to create for this film for a story. But I mean, Mortal Kombat has so many characters. Like the lore is full of characters. If you look at some of the old games, if you look at just every game in the franchise, there's like at least 100, I'm sure. So I don't know. I thought it was a little weird to invent a new character for this movie, but he was all right. It just feels so random. I mean, once things really got going and once we saw what he's capable of, I guess you could say, again, no spoilers, but in the end, I realized that there is some potential with this character. I don't dislike him, but I'm also not really like, oh, he's so great, I want more of him. I would have rather sort of just not have that and expand on some of the story of the other characters or give us some other faces. Certain faces are missing, a little off-putting. It's fine. I mean, they're going to be in the sequels and stuff. You can't expect every character from the lore over the last many years of Mortal Kombat in this movie, but I was shocked that some didn't make it. I do, however, want to talk about plot right now because overall it happened, right? Like I didn't dislike the plot. I liked how Liu Kang and Kung Lao have their dynamic and Scorpion and Sub-Zero and their rivalry. Like I said, Kano, hilarious, really great character. Sonya and Jax, right? And, Lord Raiden, and there's Shang Tsung, and the whole idea of Earthrealm and our world, and just the tournament and the build up and the suspense of like, wow, this tournament is summoning us. It's cool, right? I do like that. It's cool lore, and I think that's why I like it as a fan. I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan, but if you're not, I mean, I don't know how much you're gonna like the plot. Overall, I feel like it's good enough, but character development is missing. And it feels like the thing is, we're coming off of the last 3 Mortal Kombat games from NetherRealm Studios were amazing. The trilogy, Mortal Kombat 10, and Mortal Kombat 11 all have really good stories. The campaigns are well fleshed out, great cutscenes, great narratives, and a lot of really cool moments. They're longer than 2 hours, collectively especially. So my thing is, I feel like I would have liked a little more out of the characters in this film. I would have liked to have known a little more about them based on what their lore is in this film, in this universe, because it is a little different, clearly, than the story that's canonical in the Mortal Kombat games. I mean, in my opinion, this would work better as a series. High budget, HBO Max. If they had this as a show where you have 1 hour long episodes, like you could have told so much more story, and I think it would have been better. But all things considered, in the 2 hours or a little bit less than that, I was very satisfied. Once it ended, I was like, okay, that's a cool ending. Like, I see where they're going with this. Certainly suggesting what's next. It happened, the final actions, as in like the final fights and like the main set piece sort of things that happen at the end, pretty sick. I think that my favorite part about the movie is just seeing characters that I recognize from some of my favorite video games fighting and being crazy and violent, and it's being true enough to the games that I love. You're going to love Kano. I mean, he's so funny. Like, I heard that he was one of the highlights of this film, and then when I watched it, I saw why. I really enjoyed. There was actually like very good writing, like for him. Like, it was actually really funny. I got a good laugh with my friends as he made his jokes and sarcastic remarks and very vulgar and reckless. He's Kano. Really, really accurate to what I expect from that character. Sub-Zero sort of stole the show in many ways of just being a badass, having a really frightening presence. Like, when he'd show up, I thought he was going to be somebody else a couple times. No spoilers. But this is, Sub-Zero. This is him. And the ice is crazy what he can do with it. I like that a lot. Fight scenes were cool. Sonya Blade getting in action. Jax, once he really, he loses arms. Obviously, I don't have to say spoiler warning here. He's going to get big metal arms, and it's dope. He's really cool. But I would have liked a little more out of Jax. I would have liked a little bit more out of a lot of the characters. I think that Liu Kang and Kung Lao went from like pretty good to really good. And then I think that by the time the movie was said and done, we didn't get enough out of them, in my personal opinion. Especially Kung Lao would have liked more, because I really liked what they were doing with him. A couple of surprise cameos I was pretty excited by. Thought it was pretty cool. A lot of references to the source material. Obviously, there's a lot of lore. I think that Ed Boon has done a really good job over these years just creating such an interesting world where it is so much more than just a fighting game. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that they reference stuff, and it's a lot of fun to watch this movie. Fan service for sure. I think that if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, this is a great movie to watch, because it's actually not cheesy, and it feels more like the games in many ways than the old films did, and it's a cool movie. It's got some really good action, and CGI is pretty good. I think generally speaking, as a fan, I couldn't get enough of it, regardless of whether it's objectively good or bad. It's cool. So that's kind of how I feel about it overall. Main points are Sub-Zero, scary and very awesome. Scorpion is Scorpion. I mean, you know what to expect with him. Cole is an okay character, totally fine. It's strange that they left out some faces, and that they decided to not do the tournament for this first Mortal Kombat film of this potentially modern franchise, but I also understand it, because it was a good setup for the idea of the characters and how they lead up into the tournament and what that could mean. So I'm excited for the potential inevitable sequel. Kano is hilarious. Overall, fun movie for sure. Last thing I guess I forgot to talk about a little bit was just the tattoo thing. I thought that was a little bit weird, and I'm not so sure that I like it. I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy almost, in my opinion, because in the games, you don't have like these regular everyday people being like, oh, I thought this was a birthmark or something, or like, wow, yeah, we have the same mark on our bodies. Finding out that their fate is to go into this tournament of Mortal Mortal Kombat. I like that in the games. There's nothing like that. It seems unnecessary. Strange creative decision. I don't know if I like that. But those are my overall thoughts, guys. Mortal Kombat 2021. It's available on HBO Max, so you can stream it right now, which I'm so happy that Warner Brothers did that this year because I watched Godzilla vs. Kong. I watched the little things. I watched Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it's just awesome that they're giving us that opportunity to watch films at home if we're subscribers. But that's it. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you agree with me on my stance on this film? Did you like it? Did you think it was actually a good video game movie? Did you think it was better than the old Mortal Kombat films? If you're a fan, what did you not like about it? What did you expect or what do you want more of? Let me know everything in the comments below, but try to keep it spoiler-free only because this is a spoiler-free review / reaction type of video. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all in the next video.
Kano wins. You fucking beauty.